And what is going on, everybody? This is your boy, Soul Lover Man 504, aka Demon Everest. Welcome to Soulful Conversations, ladies and gentlemen. And today I have an amazing guest. I'm glad she took some time to come and talk to people, because it's always great to hear from her about her insight and just about her journey and just about like it's about her knowledge and everything that she gives out. That she's really she's really inspiring, and she inspires me to do what I do each and every day for you guys. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, the divinity diva herself, Miss Tonya Jones.
Thank you. First of all, I just want to say thank you for having me on here. Me and you go back a little bit. We go back to massaging and talking in the break room and talking about spirituality and a lot of things. And I'm really proud of you. I'm proud of what you're doing. I'm proud of your growth and you putting yourself out there. And it's been an amazing time just even watching you. I think that's the beautiful thing about spirituality and connecting with like-minded people, is that we get to see the progression, like where we used to be to where we are now and to where we're going. So I'm proud of you. I really am. So like you said, for some of you, you know me as Divinity Diva Tarot. Some people know me as Mambo Faknan Fuen. I'm Haitian initiated Mambo. I started on my spiritual journey a while back, way before the tarot cards and a lot of things, dibbling and dabbling with different things. At one time in high school, I thought I wanted to be a witch because I wanted to curse everybody. I was going through that rebellious stage. Then it was like, okay, let's grow out of that. Let's move forward into something else. And then I got into tarot readings probably in my late teens, maybe about 16 to 17. I actually went to New Orleans with some family and ended up in this little shop where I bought my first tarot deck. And I kind of started playing with the tarot and realized that I clicked with it really, really fast. So that kind of became my thing then. It's like, okay, but I wasn't reading for people publicly. I was just doing my readings. So it kind of started into that, and that grew, and then I got into groups where it was like, let me try to make things stronger, because you have to practice. A lot of people just assume that when you get into divination systems that even if you're natural, that things are just going to click, that connection with spirit is going to click. But people don't realize that you really need to reach out to spirit. You need to make stronger connections with them, and you do that by putting more time into them. So I focused a lot on divination, and I did that for a while, and then a few years ago I actually decided, okay, let's go start reading for people. And that was like scary. I remember my first live, I was sweating. I was like, oh my God, what if these people start throwing tomatoes at me or something, on the thing, or, these trolls come out and start attacking me. But what I did, Free Fridays for me started as practice. Let's connect and let's practice with people. And now, we on there every Friday night. I got people coming on now. We've evolved to Tea and Tarot and other shows and things like that. So that the divination part really, really grew. But my true calling has been voodoo. And probably about 7 years ago, I really started on that journey, trying to connect with the Loa, trying to connect with family things that I grew up with, trying to make sense. So there was this big pull for this voodoo. And you're from Louisiana too, so you understand.
Yeah.
The lineage. Sometimes when you're dealing with family members and things that they do, and you're like, okay, what is that? Because it's some form of magic, or there's something more to it.
Mm-hmm.
And when you come from lineages, I think that you're just automatically drawn to keep it going. Even though a lot of people don't practice openly in my family, I feel like I was called to. So then became the search of finding a mentor. And oh my God, you talking about headaches. You know how it is in the spiritual community. It's really hard to find people that are genuine, that are doing it for the right reason. you come across a lot of folios. And for like maybe, I want to say probably about 5 years, it was reaching out to people being disappointed, reaching out to other people being disappointed. And it took a while. It took a while to kind of find the person that I needed to connect with. And I'm trying to think, I don't know if you know Candelo Kambisi.
Yeah, I've seen it. I don't know him personally. I've seen his video, so I've seen you, mention his name before.
I was actually, I don't even know how I got turned on to Talkindela. I really don't. I think a friend was either following him or talking about him, and I think he had a podcast or something at the time. Well, he posted a picture with an Ugan, which was Hoodoo Sin Moise. And when I looked at him, I was like, okay, he's an Ugan. You know, he practices the voodoo. So, you know, I'm going to stalk him for a little bit. And that's what I did. Stalking him. I looked at his page. You know, he had, at the time, he had a YouTube up, and it was Crescent City Conjure, where he was talking about voodoo and hoodoo and cleansing and things like that. And I looked at all the videos, everything I could, because I don't think people realize that, you know, when you meet mentors, you got to get into their stuff. You got to figure out what this person is about. You can't take it at face value. So I stalked him for a little bit, and then I kind of, you know, moseyed on to New Orleans. He co-owns, you know, Conjure New Orleans with Mama Star. So I kind of, you know, moseyed on into Conjure New Orleans. You don't know me, but I want to do the voodoo. And so he was kind of like, because he's real laid back. He's not a warm and cuddly guy. He not open you with open arms. He kind of looking at you side eye too, like, why you want to do this? So that started the journey with him, and eventually it did lead to Haiti, where I did go through Conzo, and I did get initiated and became a mambo. And so here we go. It, you know, it starts.
I know, and I think a lot of people, you know, do you feel like, as far as people in their spiritual journeys, people who, you know, people who are like yourself, and they have like all of these different spiritual abilities, the lineage is so deep. It's not just, you know, it's not just, you know, it's not just, you know, Native American or African. It's not just one thing, and you know, you explode, and you have, it's almost like, you know, you're, you know, in a sense, your spiritual gifts can manifest into like looking up at the sky and looking up at the stars, because it's so. Yeah. Do you feel like somebody like that should just pick one thing and just stick with that, or they should just continue?
No, I think honestly, you shouldn't put limits on your spirituality or what your path is. There are a lot of people that are, excuse me, initiated in more than one tradition. And it may be because they're called to be in several traditions. There are people that, you know, do more than one form of divination because they may be drawn to it. I think when it comes to your path, there's a lot of different ways that you can kind of branch off with it, where you're still on that path, but you're adding other things in, because your growth is limitless. You know, spirit will take you a lot of different ways, but still keep you moving forward. So I say no. I never felt like I had to pick and choose my path. I kind of felt like voodoo definitely is my path. Now, everything else that I do that branches off of that, to me, is an enhancement. It really is. Because what it does, it shows expansion. It shows growth. So if somebody wants to sit up there and, you know, believe in aliens, and then they want to come back and they're a medium, and then they want to come back and, you know, they're in some other thing, it could be where they're being drawn at. People don't realize that we tend to have connections not only in this lifetime, but with other lifetimes too, which means that, say you do have a bloodline in this lifetime, you are connected to it. Doesn't mean you have to follow it. There's a lot of people that are connected to voodoo in Louisiana that do not practice. They don't do it. They don't want to do it. and it's not something that they are interested in passing on. So it's not for them. But then you have people that do they want to grow that, and they want to explore. Then you have people that have connections with past lives, where we've seen, especially with me, excuse me, with readings, that you've been a healer before in more than one life. So it makes sense that you would be a healer in this life because you've done it before. So I don't even get limited on what my bloodline or lineage is in this lifetime. I connect with whatever I did before. I've always been a healer in a lot of my past lives. I'm a healer in this lifetime because, too, I do massage therapy. I decided to become a mambo. So I'm still living a life of purpose and service. That's what my soul wants to do, and that's what we're doing in this lifetime. So no, I don't feel like you need to fit in a box. I really don't.
So like you said something earlier, like when you first started, you said you want to hex everybody, and that's a lot of things that you see that in a lot of these groups, especially with the younger, the real, like the 20 somethings. All they want to do is learn how to hex this, hex that, hex this. That's the key word. The key word is hex. So it's like, how would you give advice more like to the younger generation who are just like really waking up in this new era, and especially since everything seems to be wide open and everybody seems to think they know everything about everything?
Well, I think the thing about it is that no matter what your age, we don't know everything about
Mm-hmm.
everything. I'm 52. I'm still growing. You know, as much as I know now, there's still so much I don't know. So I think when you talk about starting a practice or starting in a tradition or a religion, you have to kind of understand that emotional maturity plays a big part in that. When I was in high school and I was talking about hexing people because they were bullying me, or, the boyfriend that I wanted broke up with me or whatever, I was emotionally immature.
Yeah,
I didn't have the reasoning, I didn't have the maturity to say, let me figure this out because this is not right. And I think that's what a lot of people do. We go off of emotion. Oh, you hurt me, so I'm going to hurt you. You did this to me, so I'm going to make you pay. That's emotional immaturity. That's unhealing. That's being, not healed inside, where you feel like you need to do that. So I think anybody who's getting into a practice, you kind of have to take the time to make sure that, first of all, you're mentally prepared to do that practice, which means that you're not going to curse everybody every time somebody looks at you sideways. You're not going to the graveyard every time somebody posts something on Facebook and you think it's about you. At some point, we're dealing with power. We're dealing with energy, and there's so much more that can be done with it than hurting other people. I mean, we got a whole world that needs to be healed, and people worried about what Billy Bob doing with Sally Sue. Who gives a shit at a certain point? You know what I'm saying? Maybe you got a whole nother Billy Bob coming. Let him go on.
Exactly.
You ain't even got to do nothing to him. But
Right.
I think it boils down to being mentally prepared to practice, to go into something without feeling like every time the wind blows, your emotions are going to dictate your practice. And I think that's the major problem that a lot of people do when they first start dealing with magic and alchemy and occultism and things like that. They let their emotions dictate, oh, I'm hurting, so I'm going to do this. Oh, I'm sad, so I'm going to do a spell on this. You need to be in your right mind when you're doing work, period. You can't be pissed off at people. You don't need to be. I know a lot of people use that energy to give their magic more power, but to me, it makes it unstable. So I think mentally you need to be stable. I think emotionally you need to work on your maturity. If you're still getting upset and wanting to hurt people behind petty shit, then that's something that needs to be worked on. And then two, if you have been hurt or you have some unresolved trauma, you need to deal with that. You need to deal with that. I get trolls that come on my lives and stuff like that just, fuck with me and say things. And it's because they're trying to get a rise out of me. But because I'm emotionally mature at this point in my life, I just sit back and I'm like, look at them folios, and I laugh at them. I think, you don't have nothing better to do but come over here and mess with me. So I think you have to you have to put things in context. You have to understand, is this really worth my energy? Do I really need to go buy a candle and do this to this person? You know, what is it going to solve? So it comes back down to emotional maturity, being mentally stable and prepared for what you're trying to take. If you still hopping all over the place in your mind, it's really hard for you. Magic takes focus, takes intent. You have to be able to really concentrate on what you're trying to do. And you got to be, there's some stability that needs to be there. Even if you're a dark witch or a dark worker, there's still some stability that needs to be there. And I think a lot of people, once they get into it, they realize it.
Yeah, people, like somebody once said, you know, magic is just a science that we just don't naturally understand, you know, and Yoda from Star Wars said that, you know, fear is the path to the dark side, you know, and that's true. It's like you like you said, it's like you know, you have to keep yourself, balanced, and you have to keep yourself, you know, focused to a point. And like you say, you know, it's coming to spiritual workers, you know, it's like we can help with you know, so much, but your mental, you know, if you need to go talk to a psychologist, go talk to a psychologist. That's okay.
Absolutely. I'm team therapy. If you need it, go do it. I think the thing about it is that people tend to they get drawn to magical practices because, you know, they were bullied, or they were the underdog, or they were done dirty by people, or they feel like they are powerless, so they're looking for power. You get a lot of people that come into this looking for power, and it's there, but what good is it if you don't even know how to use it to the best advantage? Which takes a little time. It takes, you know, education, research, and like you say, a form of stability or balance. So I get a lot of people, and even when I read for them, you know, they'll get mad at me because I'll be like, you need therapy, and they're like, no, I need the reading. No. We beyond the reading at this point. Now you need to go talk to a professional, because, you know, spirit can lead you and show you things, but if you're not there, if you're not mentally prepared to take that, you're going to keep fucking it up. So we need to get you to a point where you don't fuck it up, so that when you get this message, you can actually move forward with it. And that takes sometimes a team. You know, people need a reader, maybe a life coach, maybe a therapist. I mean, sometimes people, they need a team to get them out of this rut and move them forward. Not everybody, but we come across people who do.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of, I come across a lot of mental instability in readings with people, where it's kind of hard sometimes to tell somebody, you know, you're your own problem. They don't want to hear that. And as a reader and as a priestess and as a healer, you know, I can't bullshit this person and just go, you know what, you know, I'm gonna take your money and push you along that way because you ain't gonna get it anyway because your mind not right. That's not what you do as a healer. That's not what you do as a priestess. My job is to help. So sometimes with people, I have to kind of say, you know what, we're going to stop the reading right now. We're going to go ahead and let you, you know, book your appointment with the therapist. And in a couple of weeks, hit me up and we'll talk about it and see where you're at. Sometimes you have to, you kind of have to really redirect people to what they need. And that's part of your spirituality. That's part of what you should be doing for people.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like motion to the motionless, you know, because I think a lot of people, they come to people like yourself and me and, you know, all the other spiritual practitioners, you know, for guidance in a sense. You know, it's like they want to know. A lot of people want to know it all, you know, but a lot of people, they don't understand, like you have to put, you know, like the spirit, the shadow work. There you go. The shadow work can be something that's mental, you know, where you have blockages, trauma that you've forgotten from a kid, or you can say past lives, or stuff that you had inside of you that you know, needs to be unlocked. You got to talk about, you know, you just got to talk about it, cry about it, whatever it is you got to do to get that out of your system. You can, you know.
I think a lot of people are really afraid of doing shadow work because it can be painful. Mm-hmm. Because it's making you look at things within yourself that need to be fixed. If they're broken, they need to be fixed. Some people are very comfortable with the shadow side. They become complacent with it, where it's like, okay, this is who I am, this is what I do, and I don't want to change it. And I get that, and that's their right. You know, everybody has a right to either, you know, get healthier or stay where they're at. If there's trauma and you are complacent with the trauma, I'm not going to push you out of it if that's where you want to be. But if you come to me for help, my thing is we're going to progress. We're not going to do this and be in the same place this next year. You wasting my time. You wasting my energy. You have some people that want people to think for them, you know,
Right.
make decisions. You
Tell
tell
them
me
what
what
to
to
do.
do. Yeah.
Like, tell me
If
what
I
I
had a, exactly. I remember I had a lady, was it last year? I think it was last year, the end of last year, and she said, I'm dating this guy. Should I have sex with him? So I'm thinking, okay, did your punani get wet? Is your heart beating fast? Is your breath shallow? Is your body telling you that you want to have sex with him? And she said, yeah. So then why are you asking me if you should have sex with this guy? Now I said, if you're asking me if this guy is going to stick around after sex, is there going to be a relationship? I can address that. But the question of should I have sex with him? No, I'm not fixing to think for you. And you got to be careful as a healer, as a priest or a priestess, as a diviner, that you don't allow yourself to be put in a situation where people are starting to use you as a crutch. They're becoming codependent. You know, should I go to work today? Do I need to go withdraw money from the bank? You know, should I go ahead and call my husband or my boyfriend or my wife and talk to her today? There's certain things that we have to kind of step back and go, look, no, you got to figure that out. This is an adult. I don't think for my children. So I'd be goddamn if I'm going to get on here and tell a grown ass person, this is what you need to do. I will navigate and guide, but I'm not going to sit up there and think for you. I'm not going to do it.
Exactly. Like I love, I love working with people who are just putting a lot of people don't understand, faith is one thing, doing all these rituals, candle work, calling, yeah, that's cool, but you still have actions behind all of that work. They need you to move forward and do something. They can't just do, if you don't put any kind of action in it, then what's the point in all of that stuff that you did, or everything that you are naturally trying to do. Just like you said, people want you to pretty much give them the keys to life. You know what I mean?
Really, it's not our place, because then it becomes almost like you're playing God. And I think that's
right.
where a lot of people get these power trips from, oh, you can only get a reading from me, or, oh, I'm the only one that can tell you what you need to do, or
right.
These spiritual mentors don't go to anybody else and ask any questions. No, why are you limiting me? And people shouldn't want to be limited. They should want to, life is about evolution, evolving, expansion. So if you aren't doing that, if you still in the same spot that you were in 2010, there's a problem. If you still dealing with the same negative and toxic energy of 2013, there's a problem. There's stagnation. So you come to a healer, you come to a diviner because you want the help, you want to move forward. And I think that's important for people to know that they are. A lot of people don't know that, there's more to life than just being where you're at, just paying bills, getting up, doing the same shit day in and day out. There's a lot more to life. But sometimes we have to open that door for them. We have to open it, but I'm not going to hold your hand walking through it. I'm going to take you to the door. I'm going to show you how to open it, and then you got to go through it. You got to live your life.
So for you, when did you come to that point to say, like, you know what, this is something that I want to do, and maybe something that I can possibly turn into a business?
Honestly, I didn't start off wanting it to be a business.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted it to be practice. I wanted it to be time to connect with people. And And I think when it changed, spirit kind of changed it. You know, spirit was like, okay, you're going to start charging for readings. And I was like, no, no, because I felt very, very uncomfortable. I come from a very Catholic background.
Mm-hmm.
The vow of poverty or whatever.
Right.
So I was like, no, God want me to do this for free, and I'm not gonna do this. I don't feel comfortable with this spirit. I mean, we was having some really knockout, drag out fights. People probably thought I was losing my mind because I was talking to myself a lot. But I was kind of like, I'm not comfortable with this. And so they said, how are you going to eat? How are you going to pay for your cards? How are you going to pay for because I was spending a lot of money. I was doing free readings. I was buying all these decks. I was paying for my Wi-Fi to connect with people. And Spirit was like, why are you struggling doing all this when we're giving you a means to make money? And so we made a deal. So I was like, okay, I will charge, but I have to do free too. And so we kind of went 50-50. That's where my free Fridays are. My free Fridays are my time of giving back to people, completely free. If you want to donate, you can donate. But that was my deal with Spirit. I'm going to help people from the kindness of my heart. And Spirit said, then we're going to bless you with paying clients. And they did. And so the first month, I think I probably had maybe about 6 people or whatever. And I was actually comfortable with that because I was still trying to get into the flow and everything. And then the lives started getting bigger. Social media kind of took on a life of its own. We started turning Free Friday into like party night. Excuse me. So it was a lot more people that were coming in. And then with a lot more people coming in, the bookings started to get, because I remember when I got Simply Book, the app, you could get free monthly bookings if you had, I think, 20 people or less. And I was on that for like 2 or 3 months. Then I think that 4th month, I went over to like 30 people. And I was like, okay, what we doing, Spirit? What we doing? And it started growing. Mm-hmm. So it turned into a business. It really was Spirit guided. It was Spirit led. I kind of went kicking and screaming at first, because I wasn't making it easy. I was making it more difficult. And now I've noticed that they've actually moved me into a spiritual business where now it's like, okay, let's start working on your products. Let's start working on your candles. My massage clients aren't coming in the way they used to. And it's because Spirit is kind of moving me away from that. So I would say that probably, God, about 2 years ago, it really started shifting, and I didn't expect it. It wasn't, Divinity Diva was just a fluke. It really was. And then it turned into a brand. And then I'm like, okay, so now how do you manage it? How do you grow it without losing yourself? Because I don't want to. In fact, somebody messaged me, or I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were like, don't forget the little people who helped you, who helped build you up. And I was like, I would never do that. I would never do that. If you follow me, if you rock with me, you know that I'm very appreciative of everything. I tell people constantly, thank you. I'm grateful for this, because I am, because you don't have to support me. But as you grow, you get more and more people. I wake up every morning with 15 to 20 messages that people are like, can you help me? Can you please help me? I don't have any money. I want to kill myself. Can you help me? That is the role of a healer. So it's not about the money. It's not about the brand, because a lot of that still hasn't changed for me. It still hasn't changed. Things are getting bigger, but I am struggling now to find balance with it. I will say that I'm trying to figure out how do I support these people, and how do I take time back and rest and recharge. So the business caught me off guard completely.
So do you feel like with the spiritual shifts that we're having now, that maybe in the future that we'll be like more prepared, like if something was to happen again, because I was, and you were probably one of the people also saying, like something is, something is coming, something may happen, there's, because there were a lot of powerful full moons, 2017, 2018, 2019, the retrogrades was hitting people like crazy. And and it's like all of a sudden 2020 came, and it just like knocked everybody, like on their butt in a sense.
It was so freaking crazy. And and I was talking to a friend about this. I saw the virus before the virus came, and I misread it as the flu. I kept telling everybody about 5 or 6 months ago, start taking your vitamins, start drinking your water, because there's going to be a really bad flu that's coming in and people are going to get sick. I didn't see death though, because I normally don't read death, but I knew that something was going to come in and hit people really, really hard. And that was way before China even came in with it, because people were like, oh my God, you told me I was going to get sick, and I caught the COVID-19. I misread it as the flu because I didn't know what COVID-19 was.
Mm-hmm.
I kept seeing people get sick. So I will agree that the shifts are there, people that are sensitive, and you don't have to read, you don't have to be walking the spiritual path. A lot of people are picking up the vibrations. I still feel like there's something big coming in. I still feel like there's more to this, to what we're dealing with. I don't know if this is attached to this virus or if there's something else that we got to deal with. As a whole, as a collective, we're able to pick up vibrations, and we feel things. I don't know if you felt, but a couple of days ago, there was like this major shift, and I was on Facebook, and everybody was arguing, everybody. And I had like 3 or 4 friends that were messaging me, they wanted to commit suicide. It was like everything just flipped, and I was like, okay, what happened? What happened? Something happened. I felt it. And I think we have major shifts that are still coming in as part of evolution, though. That's a part of it. A lot of spiritual people that are very sensitive. We got light workers, we got dark workers, we got, astrologists, we got, medicine men, shamans. We got a lot of people that are being drawn and connecting and creating groups, and they don't even know why.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's because there's something bigger that's coming in that we're going to have to stand. We're going to have to deal with. We'll see.
True.
But,
yeah, like I was telling people, it's going to be something that's going to be like over like the next day. What's happening now is going to be something that's going to happen, because this is definitely a time for dreamers. Things are, shifting. People might say, well, how is that possible? We're losing our jobs, blah, 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 blah. This is where you have to really keep the faith and really be in tune with, like you said, spirit, your spirituality, so that they can guide you. We're not, don't go out yet. Don't do this, do that. Where you have that time to really build, where you have that time to get yourself together, be with your family. I told people this is going to be a time where relationships are they're either going to make it, or they're not going to make it, and that's just what it is, because everybody was going to work, paying bills, going to work, paying bills. So now you have time to do everything that you pretty much need to do. So in a sense of it. So the journey for you, the journey for you ahead, like as far as like where you've been and where you see yourself going, like do you see it more as like the sky's the limit, or do have your people like to use the term spiritual team, but have your ancestors been, I like to say ancestors, but have your ancestors been working with you to say like, okay, well, this is coming up next, and in XYZ?
First of all, yeah, the ancestors are everything.
Right.
That's your foundation.
Right.
That they open doors. Even for voodoo sons that practice voodoo and serve the spirit, the ancestors still come first. We have the ancestors, we have Bonjay, we have the Loa, we have, I work with angels. So the ancestors are like my go-to, like, okay, what we doing? What we doing this week? What we doing this month? And I listen, and I light my candle and I pray and I meditate and I let them guide me. I trust my spirits. I do. This is not a habit, or this is not, you know, this fly by night thing for this. This is my life. You know, this is what I do. So going to them for guidance to me is like drinking water. Listening to them is like breathing air. Like, that's just natural. We do this. You know, I don't know about sky being the limit. I know that I have some bigger things that are coming in. And my biggest fear, and I tell a lot of my friends this, is that I never want to outgrow who I am as a genuine person. I want to remain authentic.
Yeah.
You know, I want, when you meet me, I'm the same way that I am online. There's no, you know, there's no fakeness with it. What you see normally with me is what you're going to get. It's what you're going to get. And my biggest fear is, and you know this, anybody who's hung out with me, y'all know this is it. You know, I curse, you know, I talk about sex, I'm inappropriate, I love the spirit. I mean, there's so many components that make up this. But I think the biggest thing is, I know I have opportunities coming in. My thing this year is helping my spiritual family grow too. You know, like, if I get this opportunity, you get this opportunity. You know, if I get invited to this thing, you come into this thing too with me, because I feel like that's what I feel led to do this year. It's like, come on, let's pull everybody in. So I feel like if I have good things coming, if the sky is, you know, the limit for me, then the sky is the limit for my family, because I expect my family to be there. Now, it's going to be some mofos that ain't going to want to come. That's cool. You know, some may fall to the wayside. That's cool. You know, I'll wave. You know, we'll still be cool. We'll wave back and forth. But I think, honestly, my biggest thing is I want to go deeper in my connection with spirit. That's more important to me at this point on my journey. Learning my Creole, you know, going back to Haiti, doing some really deep spiritual journeys, like going to other countries and helping, you know, even in my community, doing more in my community. You know, the lives and social media and all that stuff, that's cool. I love my Free Fridays because it helps raise my vibration, but there's so much more. There's so much more, and there's a lot more that needs to be done. And I really want to kind of connect with that energy. I want to grow in the community, because at the end of the day, like I said, I'm 52. I don't know how much longer I got to be here, you know, hopefully a while longer. But I want to be able to really say at the end of my days that I did something that made a difference, that I feel proud of. And I think as a priestess, like I was saying on my video yesterday, it goes further than just the aesthetics and looking cute and having witchy stuff or whatever behind. It really comes into service, helping people, you know, and moving forward. And I feel like that's where my journey is going to take me. You might see me in Africa digging a ditch or something next year. I don't know. I don't know. That would be plain, and it would be amazing. It would be I would love to build a village. I ain't gonna even lie. I would love to build a village and have orphans and do that.
They say it takes a village, so why not build one?
You know what? I'm all for it. I'm all for it. When they sign up, my name's gonna be on a piece of paper, because that's what I want to do. So I think really mine is more moving towards more humanitarian work. I feel like that's where I'm being kind of pulled at. But I'm open. You know, I'm not gonna put myself in a box, and I'm not gonna put my spirits in a box.
Right. That, you know, and that's what I tell people. You know, it's not just me, it's us. You know, I want, you know, everybody to grow together, especially people that's been there for me. You know, it's like the opportunities come for me as everything grows. I want everything to be able to grow for the people, you know, the people around me, because I don't feel like I feel like everything that I have is because of, you know, my God, my ancestors, you know, the Orisha. I don't like to leave them out, because when I do, I hear about it. Oh, they are something, boy. Woo! Man, they are something. To be like, hey, what? Hey. But anyway,
they will. They thump. Like, you know, get right.
Right. They'd be like, hey, you better give us a shout out. But anyway, I just wanted, I just want this thing to just, and I just want this thing to continue to grow. And like I said, I've had reading from you and from other people, and you hear this and that, but I think the important thing is to really just take all of that in, and just to you have to walk your walk like you talk the talk. You have to, like they said, you have to be about this life, because if you're not, like you said, you're going to have these mental breaks. And, it's interesting when everything happened, when the COVID thing happened, everything just, just stopped. It almost felt like, in a sense, time just stopped on our side, and like, I was looking around, I'm like, well, where are all the spiritual people at? And my crazy self, I'm still out there in the ocean, and I'm feeling I'm feeling like everybody's energy, and it was just everybody was freaking out. So I understood why people pulled back, the spiritual workers, they pulled back massively, and I, in a sense, I was still out there, but I was like, okay, well, let me come back to the shallows a little bit, so I can continue to go out there and do what I have to do.
I think this is showing people who's for real and who's not for real.
Yeah.
I think you see the true nature of a person in adversity. So if you call yourself a priest or a priestess or a healer or a shaman, a medicine man or whatever, and as soon as the shit hits the fan, you scurry off, because that really, you out of your element, or you feel out of your element, that, you might need to go back. There's something that needs to be readdressed, because this is the time when we should be standing, where we should be elevating, and uplifting each other, as spiritual people, as priestess, as diviners. This is the time when you come in, because people need the guidance. So I think you're going to see a lot of, even on my timeline, I'm kind of like, you know what, I'm not rocking with this person after this. I'm not. I was following you, and I was drinking the Kool-Aid. I was right there with you. And then you went in the closet and had the nerve to lock the closet so nobody could get in the closet with you. And I'm like, can't rock with you. I can't rock with you, because your faith or your energy is fickle. It's fickle. So I think we're going to learn a lot about people around us right now. People that, I think it was you. Was it you that posted that post? Oh my God. I think it was something about being on I got it off of somebody about being on the A team, the B team, and the C team. Like, people, this is making me realize who's my A team people, who's my B team people, who's my C team people. So I'm rearranging the priorities, because I'm like, if the shit go down, do I really want to be with the C team that ain't really putting the action behind?
Yeah, I did, Paul. Yeah.
So this is making people aware of who is in their life, who needs to maybe be dismissed, who's going to be your support, who's your backbone. We need to see this. And maybe that was a reason for a lot of us, because we need to see who we dealing with, because some of these people are faking the funk. And if they faking the funk, do you really need them? That's dead weight. It's dead weight. So I think that, this has been an eye opener. For me, even for me, it's been an eye opener, and I'm actually appreciative of it. I really am, because maybe I needed to see things clearly.
Right. Yeah, I feel like, because like you said, it's like you come to that time where you see growth in your business, and now is that time where I'm seeing growth, in my, because I'm I'm being faithful, I'm going live, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. So like, all right, cool, we, and all the readings I got, it's like hey, cool, we got your back. Just just continue to to do what you're doing. And like you said, that faith, like your the testament, everything that you're going through right now is actually going to lead to a lot of people's testimony. So it's like that. It's like the breakup or the breakdown is going to lead to, to a lot of people to greater things, like in the near future, so now is not the time to, just be like, well, hey, cool. Now is the time to put in the work, to really put in the work to heal and to do everything that you need to do, because it's like you have a cloak around you. You have this you have this spiritual angelic cloak around you to do what it is that you need to do to help you to get to where you need to get to. You have perfect silence, so, and if you don't, if people don't take advantage of this, I don't know what to say, because a lot of, it's I don't know, because like I said, this is a once in a generational shift that's happening right now. So,
I think the whole thing about it is, like you say, people are going to be taking this time to kind of grow, to study, to elevate themselves. We do have some people that are struggling through this, because we got people that literally, they're falling apart, but that's where the leaders come in the spiritual community. It's like, okay, what do you need? Let me help you. Because we all not on the same level. Some of us, I've never had a fear of dying, ever. Of course, I wouldn't want to leave my kids behind. But I understand that, there are things that faith-wise, I have to be strong in for them. I have to make sure as a leader, as a priestess, that I'm upholding everything that I can. Now, for some, like I said, we have people that are struggling, because I've lost friends through this COVID thing. I've seen a lot of people lose people, and it's breaking them down. It's breaking them down, but I think that's where we come in as a community, and we say, you know what, I'm here. You need food, I'm going to give you food. You need, you want to talk? You want to talk about spirit? Let's do this. You whatever you need, I'm here. So if you call yourself a leader in the community, and I don't call myself that at all, but I will step in if I'm needed. But I think if you put yourself out there and you say that this whole year, last year, you were a spiritual advisor, spiritual teacher, and you get to this moment, and then all of a sudden, no, I don't do that, I don't want to do that. No, you're doing yourself a disservice, and you're doing other people a disservice. Right now, we need everybody to kind of pull in together. We got big shifts that are coming in. We need to raise vibrations. We need to put positive energy out there. We need to send healing to each other, because in the end, we need this to get through this. We need it. This is devastating. We need to shift it in a way that's positive, that keeps us moving forward and progressing through this. And I see a lot of people doing it. I do. Yeah. I'm not going to say that I don't.
Yeah. And like you said, it's true. I think it's to the point where, like you said, people have to grieve. We're not here to, we're not here to say like, oh, you know what, we're not the conspiracy theorist people with the tinfoil hats, talking about we're not in a sense, not like that, even though there's some nefarious, whatever. But like you said, it's we're here to help people with the guidance, and to help them through the fog, so that they can see the light.
Exactly. I mean, even if you believe in a conspiracy, and that's great, however you want to label it or put a picture on it, but we still got to deal with the real shit.
Right. Like it's here, and we have to.
This is what's happening right now.
Exactly.
So we could talk about that, when things get better, when these numbers start going down, and I'm more than willing to come on and talk about conspiracy theories. But right now, like, we're in the shit. We got to get real. We got to get our meditation up. We got to get our prayer up. We got to get our protection up. My altars haven't stopped this whole time. It's a candle burning every day, every night, because I'm going to my spirits, and I'm like, protect my family, protect my loved ones, protect what needs to be protected, because that's my faith. That's my belief system. But that's dealing with what's going on right now with the shit. We got plenty of time to kind of float in the universe and be all over the place. But right now, we need to be focused. We need to be focused. And if you're on a spiritual journey, you need to be focused, because there's certain things that you may be called to do that are going to come out. Just like with you and these conversations, you're going to open up doors for a lot of people so that they can share knowledge. And for people that want to hear it, they're going to learn something. I'm going to look at your thing, and I'm going to learn something from other people that's going to help elevate me. So I think we all have a part to play. We all have something to contribute. that can make this situation better and help us grow spiritually.
True. Like Shakespeare said, all the world's a stage, you know, and all the men and women are merely actors, you know. So we just, like you said, you know, we have to, like The Rock would say, we have to know our roles, you know. And you know, and yeah,
we all have one. We all have one. So you gotta take your position and wait for I'm on third base. I'm waiting for the ball to come in. What I need to do, coach? What I need to do? That's the energy right now.
Yeah, exactly. So what's the one thing, what's something that you would tell people right now, just as far as because the energy is just, because my sleep patterns sometimes have been all over the place. That's because I'm getting a lot of messages and this and that, and so I'm seeing things, and and a lot of people are, it's like a lot of people, if they want to awaken spiritually, they're waking up now,
Well, I think right now the energy is coming in. It's a fast track where people are,
right.
The shift is coming in really quick, and it's because the way the world is right now, people are being awakened way before they were ready or they weren't prepared for it. Because I get so many people that are like, oh my God, I'm seeing people, I'm hearing things. The first thing I'm going to say is don't be afraid of it. Spiritual growth is it's not always the most pleasant experience, but it's needed. It's needed. It's happening for a reason, because there's something that you're going to have to contribute. Your position is being lined up. So Spirit is getting you ready for it. You don't understand it though. You not yet. But I will say, do not be afraid of it. The second thing I will say, be patient with your journey. I get so many people that are like, okay, I want to fast track now. I want to do readings, and I want to go and be priest or priestess or whatever. There's a lot of responsibility that the further you grow, the higher that you go, your responsibility becomes greater. So I will tell people, be patient, let it happen organically. Do your meditations, drink your water. For a lot of people, we need to be getting out in nature. We need to be getting fresh air. We need to be taking walks. We need to be, riding our bikes, because it helps clear our mind. Because we're not sleeping at night because we're overthinking. We got way too much shit going on. The other thing is to create sacred spaces to connect with Spirit. A lot of people, they use their bedroom, for altars and everything like that. Spirit doesn't sleep. They don't eat. They don't sleep. They come and go 24/7. When you open portals in places that you're trying to rest, or you're trying to meditate in, you got to make sure you close these portals. So say you're living with other people and your bedroom is the only thing that you do have. If you're going to open that portal and meditate and read cards and do divination and other things in there, you got to make sure you close it, or else Spirit will come through all hours of the night, all hours of the morning, and mess with you, talk to you, give you ideas and all that. So you really have to create sacred spaces. If it's a corner, close it off, protect it. And then tell Spirit at the end of your conversations with them, I'm closing this, I'm going to bed, we'll connect again. But I think for a lot of people, definitely focus, don't be afraid, be patient with your growth, be patient with the person that you're becoming. Don't be afraid of things that walk out of your life, because for whatever reason, whenever you start to grow, you're going to lose people. You're going to lose things that just don't connect with you anymore. They're not your people anymore. That's not, you don't need to go to the club anymore. You may not like the taste of alcohol. You might stop eating meat. Whatever it is, let it happen organically, but don't be afraid of it, and be patient.
Thank you. And
and I hope that helps, because that's simple.
Yeah, exactly. And I think sometimes people just have they think of like spirituality, and they like, oh, I'm new to this, and they start freaking out, and they think, they see one thing.
We make it more complicated than what it needs to be.
Exactly. Right. It's just like it's like anything, well, not anything in life, but it's a process, and it's just one step at a time, like martial arts master once told me, you know, it's like climbing a mountain. Once you get to a certain point, and if you feel like, you know, that's the spot where you're the happiest, that's your point. But if you feel like you want to continue to climb that mountain till you feel like you're at the very top, then hey, that's what you're going to continue to do.
That's great. That's great advice. It really is. And that simplifies it. If you feel comfortable, stay there. If you feel like you want to go higher, go higher. I love that. I might steal that from you. You might see it on my Facebook post or something.
Yeah. One thing I remember, I remember vividly when I was, you know, in New Orleans, and, you know, New Orleans was a great training ground for me, probably, and for you also, just, you know, just spiritually. You know, I take those lessons and I just, you know, I hold those lessons and I really cherish those lessons. You know, I always think back and talk to my friends that, you know, we were taking the karate and all this stuff together. I'm like, man, dude, don't you wish we could go back and blah, blah, blah. But, you know, you have that time was that time, and now this time is this time. So the only thing you can do is just continue to take those lessons and continue to grow. You know, let it grow within you and all around you. But as we are closing, you know, as we're coming to a close, did you want to tell people where they can find you on social media?
You know, you can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. I do have Twitter, but I hardly ever. I need to get in there and get on my Twitter better. But Divinity Diva Tarot, all the way across the board. Divinity Diva Tarot is where you can find me. Free Fridays, I go live normally every Friday. Tea and Tarot on Saturday. I'm incorporating some new things, the Mambo Meetup. And I don't know what days, but look for Divinity Diva Tarot. You're going to find me. So I appreciate you. Thank you for letting me talk. Yeah. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thank you again. Thank you for, you know, everything that you're doing, and thank you for, you know, coming on here. Thank you for being my friend over the past decade.
You don't have to thank me for that. You're welcome. You do owe me lunch, though. I think you owe me lunch. I'm pretty sure you do.
Yeah, because the last time we were in New Orleans, I think I ended up losing my card, and I gave you my book, but I ended up losing my card that weekend. So I do. So when all when the world opens back up, we'll set that up. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us again. This is Mr. Soul Lover Man 504, aka Damon Alvarez, and Miss Divinity Diva, Tonya Jones. We're signing out this piece, folks, and as always, we have this piece. Peace.